Hey everyone, Jake here for Extreme Terrain, and in this video we're taking a look at these 7-inch LED Halo LED RGB headlights and fog lights with black housings and clear lenses fitting 2007 to 2018 JK Wranglers. If you're looking for a cool way to differentiate your JK from the rest of them out there, you need some updated lighting to boot, then these are definitely going to appeal to you. This kit is a pretty effective way to get some cool custom lighting and better overall output on your Jeep for a really reasonable price. Whether any of us want to admit it or not, JKs are getting up there in years. Now that can mean that your headlights are going to be cracked, crazed, yellowed, or anything like that. And even if yours are in good shape, if you've got halogens on there, better lighting output is not hard to find. However, these headlights and fog lights that we've got in this kit bring not just better lighting output, but also come with some really cool features packed in. Now let's start with the one you all want to know about, the RGB Halo rings. On both the headlights and on the fog lights, you get these outer LED rings that can light up all kinds of different colors. You can choose from over 300 different lighting patterns and basically infinite colors. The kit does come with a remote control included, but you can have access to all these colors and patterns even more easily with the downloadable app. Now the lights can also be synced to music or to different levels of sound and voice sensitivity, so they can react to all kinds of different things. Plus, you can adjust the speed of the patterns and the brightness of the lights themselves. So there's a lot of customization that you can do with these. And again, everything is going to be repeated on both the headlight and on the fog lights. So you can have them match your paint or accent colors, you can have some cool pattern going, or you can just change it up on a whim depending on your mood. It's a fun addition to a practical upgrade. Now those Halo rings also function as your typical daytime running lights. They're going to light up white by default. They'll also change to amber when you activate your turn signals, but these go beyond just looking cool in that they also provide you with a lot more illumination versus your stock setup. Now these are going to feature LED projectors for the main and high beams, which are going to light up the street or trail much better than your factory lights. They have a 6000K temperature light, so they're pretty crisp, and being projectors, they have a nice wide beam pattern with a sharp cutoff. Plus, they're going to throw light a lot further, and they put out way more output than your factory halogens. Specifically, these put out 2,376 lumens and 3,410 lumens for your low and high beams, respectively. So especially as compared to your factory halogen headlights, these are going to be significantly brighter. Now, of course, your fog lights are LEDs that match as well, and these are going to put out way more than your factory fogs too. So this is a very bright setup, and they just flat out look cool. The black housings with the round LEDs in the headlights, plus these linear accents that match the fog lights too, just add for a nice cohesive and a more aggressive appearance overall on your front end. So if you're after that look, you want some more lighting output, these are a great way to get it. The outer housings of both the headlights and fog lights are made from die-cast aluminum with integrated heat sinks to help keep them cool. The lenses are shatter and scratch-proof polycarbonate, as you might expect, pretty much the standard for automotive lighting. Now inside, of course, you have all of those LEDs. There's also an integrated cooling system to ensure longevity for the components, giving them a lifespan of up to 50,000 hours. And these are also IP67 waterproof rated. So whether you're working them hard on the trail or at a car show, they should last you a good long while. Plus, your fog lights also come with the brackets that you need, and they've got integrated adjusters as well. The price might just be the best part though, as this kit is only going to run you about $350, which for a full set of headlights and fog lights is not bad already. Considering that these are also fully LED powered and have all that customizability we just talked through, that is what really sets them apart in my book. So if you want better lighting output, some cool eye-catching features, and you don't want to pay a lot of money, then great news, these are going to be just right for you. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now while for the most part these are plug and play, I've got a bunch of scary looking wires up here, but don't fret. Most of this stuff is just going to plug right in. You've got some adapter harnesses included in the kit, a couple more adapter harnesses as well, and you've got your Bluetooth controller. Now there is going to be a bit of wiring that you'll have to do in order to get everything working properly. However, pretty much everything is set and ready to go for you. You've got a fuse tap, you've got some spade connectors already ready to go, and mostly everything else is just going to plug in. So this is a pretty straightforward job. Otherwise, just like it is swapping out JK headlights normally. So this is certainly something you can accomplish at home. And we're going to help you out with that right now as we head out to the shop for a full walkthrough of the process.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, a clip remover tool, Phillips head screwdriver, needle nose pliers, scissors or diagonal cutters, an extension, a swivel adapter, 13 and 18 millimeter sockets, some T-taps, and a few zip ties. What's up guys? Today we're installing headlights and fog lights on our Jeep. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your front bumper. Now this is going to be done on a different Jeep, but it's the same uninstall procedure. And then we'll meet you right back here for the rest of the uninstall.
So the first step to taking off our bumper is disconnecting our fog lights, and then we can go ahead and get underneath the bumper so we can start disassembling all of that hardware. You will need a 18 millimeter deep socket and a ratchet, as well as something comfortable to lay on. So just disconnect the fog lights. All you have to do is push down the tab and we can take that off and set that aside. And we can do the same thing for the other one. So you're gonna have 4 studs with 4 nuts on either side of your frame rail. We are at the innermost bolts here. You're gonna be using an 18 millimeter deep socket to remove the nuts, and I am also using a 3-inch extension. This is just gonna help me clear the bumper down here. So the outer portion will be a lot easier to see. So what we're gonna do now is remove the 18 millimeter nuts that are holding on to the studs on our bumper. You're gonna have 2 on the outer portion of the frame rail and 2 on the inner portion. The inner portion is gonna be a little bit hard to see. So you will have 2 here. We're gonna use an 18 millimeter deep socket to remove those. I'm also using a 3-inch extension just to clear this bottom portion of the bumper. So now we're at the innermost driver's side bolts. You will have this vacuum pump here if you have a 2012 to 2018 JK, so I wouldn't recommend the extension, but if you have a 2007 to 2011 JK, you can use that extension to help you out. So after all the hardware is disconnected, we can take off our front bumper.
So now with our front bumper removed, we can grab a Phillips head screwdriver and remove the screws holding in our fog lights. So now we'll just take that Phillips head screwdriver and remove our 4 screws on each of our fog lights. And then with those screws removed, we can just pop that out and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we can pop our grill off so that we can remove our headlights. I've got a clip remover tool to remove the 6 clips at the top of the grill. So now we'll take that clip remover tool and pop off all of our push clips. And now with all of our clips removed, we can pull straight back on the grill and unplug our daytime running light connectors. So we'll pull back on this red tab and then press in on the black, pop that off on both sides. Now we can remove our headlight. We've got 4 Phillips head screws holding in the bracket, and then we can pull this out and remove our connector. I'm taking a Phillips head screwdriver to pop all these screws out. pull that bracket off. We're gonna push up on the red locking tab and then push down on the green tab and remove our headlight, and do that same thing on the other side. So now we're ready to start setting up our wiring. I've got our wire harness kind of draped across the engine bay where everything will be going. Now each wire is very well labeled. So you have your passenger side wire that's connecting to your turn signals. There's the same thing on the driver's side, and then we've got labels for our passenger and driver side headlights and fog lights. So the first thing we need to do is add our fuse tap to our fuse box. Now we're going to be pulling out our accessory fuse and putting it in this tap, and then we'll put the tap in its place. So we're going to press in these two tabs on the back side of our cover to pop it up, and then once it's fully out, you can just pop that up. Now we're going to be coming back to this yellow 20 amp fuse here. We'll take a pair of needle nose pliers and pull that out. So now with our fuse box open, we can find the yellow 20 amp fuse. That's our accessory fuse. So we'll take a pair of needle nose pliers and pull that out. And then we're going to install that fuse into our fuse tap. And then slide our fuse tap into place there. And then we can just neatly route our wire. And then we'll reinstall the cover by sliding these two clips into the back first, pressing down, and then we can close that up. Next we can add our ground wire. I'm going to be doing this to this bolt right here. So we'll take a 13mm socket to loosen that up. And we'll get it up just enough so that we can slide this under. And then we can tighten it back down. Next, we're going to mount our control box right here below our passenger side headlight bucket. So we'll take our double-sided tape and peel the backing off one side and stick this down to our control box. And then we can peel the backing off the other side and stick that down. Now while we're here, I'm going to take the cord that's for the passenger side headlight, untangle that, and then run that up into our passenger side headlight bucket. Now we can take our red and our black wire and zip tie up the excess of both of these. So we'll get them untangled. I'm going to run it underneath this bucket here, and I'll pull all of that excess and bunch it up. And then I'll take a zip tie and then you can take a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters to cut off the excess of the zip tie. And then we can just tuck that back out of the way. Next, we're going to need to connect this yellow wire to our blinkers. So we're going to come down to the connector for them. We're looking for the white and pink wire. Now this kit supplies you with the T-tap. So there's this metal fork in here that you're gonna put over the wire, and then you'll close it up and take a pair of pliers to pinch it down, and that's gonna cut into the wire to make our connection. Now we already have one of these on here from a previous install, so I'm just gonna be using this. So we'll take our yellow wire, we have a male spade connector on there, and we'll just slide that into our T-tap. And then I'm going to tuck that wire back behind this bracket as well. Next, we're going to run our green wire as well as the black wire labeled driver side headlight over to our driver side. The green wire, we're going to be doing the same thing as the yellow wire on the other side. You just have a different color wire on this side. On the driver side, you're going to be looking for the white wire with the gray stripe, and that's what you're going to be installing your male spade connector to. So we'll slide that into place. And then our black wire, we're just going to run up and into our driver side headlight bucket. And then we can go back and zip tie up all of that excess wire. So now I've got our green wire and our headlight for the driver side wire running underneath of our two frame rails so that it stays nice and hidden behind the bumper. Now I'm also going to take the driver's side fog light wire and do pretty much the same thing, but I'm going to have that hang out here where it would go. And then for the passenger side fog light wire, we don't really have enough slack to run it under, so this is just going to have to go straight there. So now we can take a few zip ties. We're just going to zip tie this to our sway bar here. And I'm going to take the fog light connector out of here and get one more zip tie on the other side. And then we'll go back with a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off all of our excess on our zip ties. And now we can begin to install our headlights. Next we can install our headlight. So first we're going to get our adapter harness. We have the side that's going to plug into our factory connector. So we'll push that in until we hear the click. And then we can push that red locking tab down. Next we'll add our CAN bus. So we'll connect that 3-prong connector into this connector. And I'm going to tuck this back and out of the way. And then we'll grab our headlight. We have the connector that's going to go to this black wire, as well as the 3-prong connector that's going to go into the other end of our CAN bus. Now there's 3 pins and a slot so that you can only put this in one way. And then we'll slide this cap up and twist it until it bottoms out. And then we'll tuck everything back and out of the way. Slide our headlight into place. Then we'll get the metal bracket that goes over it. And we can start installing our screws. And then you can do that same thing on the other side. Now we can reinstall our grille. So we're going to grab our connector for our DRL and plug that in. And then press that red locking tab into place. I already did it on the other side, so you can do the same. And then we'll line up our bottom tabs, push our grille into place. And then we can go up top and reinstall all of our push clips. Now we can install our 2 fog lights into our bumper using our factory Phillips head screws. So now we'll drop the fog light into place. Now on the 2 top holes with the pins, that's where we're installing the bracket with the 2 holes. And then we'll just reinstall all of those Phillips head screws. And then you can do that same thing on the other side. So now I've got our bumper resting on a stool, and we're going to go ahead and plug in all of our connectors. And then we can lift our bumper up and onto our frame horns. Next we can come to our frame horns and reinstall the 2 bolts on the outside here. And then we'll take an 18mm socket to tighten these down. And then you can do that exact same thing on the inside of the frame rail and do the exact same thing on the other side. Now to control our headlights, we have this remote. At the top, we have our basic on and off. In the middle of those two, we have the auto. If you want to let it just do its thing. And then in the middle here, we have our modes. So you can make them do a bunch of different things. On the left side, you have your increase and decrease speed, and on the right side, increase or decrease brightness in each mode. And then at the bottom, you just have your basic colors, if you want a solid color. And then at the bottom right, you just have your basic white. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the 7-inch Halo LED headlights and fog lights with RGB, black housing, and clear lens for your 2007 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JK. Thank you for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.